Hi, good morning, Nasheen.
Good morning, Caitlin. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So we have a pretty exciting presentation today. We have about
Uh-huh.
10 minutes left. I'm sure you've done the presentation before. I know you were here during our BCE for sure. So what I'll do is I'll give you maybe a 5-6 minute introduction.
Yep.
I'm not going to get into any details about your presentation, just a little bit about us this time. And then I'll
Okay.
say, Nasheen, the floor is yours, and then take it away. Don't worry about the chat. Don't worry about the questions. I'll be noting those down, and then I'll save the important ones and the relevant ones for the Q&A session.
Sounds good. Thank you. Would you do the same with Ian?
Of course.
Okay. And since Nicole cannot join us, I do have a couple of dates from Lumen Ultra, so I'll just talk about that at the end of my presentation.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, I'll
Sounds
see you
good.
back here in 9 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on our decades' experience serving internationally trained professionals, together with our partners, GTAC is proud to offer career-focused trainings. The goal of those trainings is to help skilled workers stay abreast of the latest and emerging labor market demands in Canada. Explore career options and the pros and cons. Expand your professional networks and therefore make informed decisions and fast-track your career. Different from academic trainings, there are 3 key features of GTAC's career-focused trainings that you can benefit from. 1. The trainings are all designed by industry insiders, along with inputs and feedbacks from hiring employers we worked with, and delivered by experienced industry experts. 2. The training contents are focused more on case studies and practical tips and tactics, not on theories. As a result, you can apply the knowledge and information in their job interviews, and quickly and successfully take on tasks when you are newly hired. 3. The trainings are short-term and low cost, with possibility of job referrals. One-on-one career coaching is available to help you find out career path that can make the most of your experience and passion. Please visit GTAC's website to find more details. Grow your career, GTAC can help. Dear job seekers, are you looking for a professional job in Canada? Are you wondering what are the options for your career transition? Are you ready to connect directly with employers and service providers to expand your network and fast-track your career in Canada? Welcome to GTAC's National Virtual Career Expo. It is Canada's largest online talent attraction and job fair, and it is all about job opportunities, networking, and career options. The VCE is live, allowing you to pitch your qualifications, ask questions, get direct answers, and most importantly, get hired. The VCE is digital, you can join from anywhere, anytime. The VCE is national, there are employers and service providers across Canada to find and attract talent. Registration is completely free. We also offer free pre-event support, including VCE how-to webinars, to prepare you for a more productive VCE experience. With GTAC and the National Virtual Career Expo, you're one click away from your dream job. Register now.
Hey, Caitlin, I think your
Caitlin, you are
microphone's on
muted.
mute.
You think after 2 years of working from home, I'd be used to this, but I still get caught. I was just saying good morning to all our viewers. This part before we really get started, I love when everyone lets us know where they're watching from. As you know, it's morning here in Canada. I'm getting a lot of good evenings, good afternoons on the chat. So I know that people are definitely not watching from North America. So give us a shout out from your home country, and we'd love to know where you're watching from. Nigeria, hello. Morocco. Is anyone watching from in Canada right now? Did anyone wake up? Dubai, oh wow, it must be late there. Tunisia, Uganda. Oh, we do have some people in Canada. Great. Hi Ian, thank you for joining us. I didn't get to, oh, I'm not sure if I heard you there. Let's turn the volume up. No, I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. So we have about a minute left. I'm just going to do an introduction. I'm not going to give you guys a very big introduction. I'm going to let you do that yourself if you choose to. I'm just going to introduce your topic, and then we'll move on to a bit about GTAC. I was telling Nosheen this earlier. I'll do a little bit about GTAC, so I'll get into some of the trainings that are coming up, let people know about our services, and that'll only take about 5-6 minutes. And then I'll pass the floor to who's going to be kicking off the presentation today.
I guess I'll go first because I'm talking about the general overview of our labor market, and then Ian can follow.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right, let's get started. So let me just get everything all set up. Okay, great. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So today we are joined by Nasheen, who is the Manager of Workforce Development at Ignite Fredericton, as well as Ian, who works at a company called Defenda. And we're going to be talking about career opportunities in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Generally, we get a lot of New Brunswick fans on our channel, so I'm sure everyone's very eager to hear your presentation today. But before I pass the floor over to Nasheen, I'd like to give a little bit of a background on GTAC. So GTAC is an organization that specializes in serving skilled workers. We serve skilled workers who are outside of Canada, who are trying to move their career to Canada, as well as skilled workers who are in Canada and looking to make a change in their career. One of our big services that we offer is this digital platform, which really helps connect talent from outside of Canada to opportunities within Canada. Some of the services we offer, and they kind of have a bit of a process flow. The first thing, our first point of contact generally with people outside of Canada is our webinars, as well as our virtual career fair. So our webinars will offer insights to the Canadian labor market, will offer opportunities within Canada, and then also just some best practices and kind of coaching on how to land a job in Canada. So that's eligible whether you're in or outside of Canada. And then we move on to, if you're really enjoying the services and you know you can go further with us, we do offer career-focused trainings. So those are even deeper into labor market information for specific skills and trades. And then we also offer individual career coaching with career counselors that can kind of help you improve your resume or improve your interviewing skills, or just kind of figure out what's been going on. That's generally if you haven't been landing the job, you've been getting interviews, or you haven't been getting interviews, we can kind of streamline the process. And then the last thing that we do with skilled job seekers is we offer employment connections. So that will be after we get to know you, you've done a training class with us, or you do career coaching, then we kind of know your specific skills. You know, we do work with a lot of companies in Canada, so we can help you meet the people that will progress your career, as well as get you some interviews. Okay. Another thing on this is the National Virtual Career Expo, which I'll talk about in a bit, but that is really an easy way for job seekers to connect directly with Canadian recruiters. So, you know, I did speak a little bit about the Virtual Career Expo as well as Employer Connections. So we actually have 400 employer partners across Canada. So it really does show you kind of the scale of our network and why it is a valuable relationship for job seekers to kind of take our trainings and get to know us and us to get to know them, because we really have a great understanding of the job market in Canada, and we also understand a lot of our partners' needs. And in the National Virtual Career Expo, there's just a graph on this page showing how we've grown it over the years. The number of country of origins have gone from 15 to over 100 and almost 100, over 130. And we've just continued to grow the numbers. And that's really just putting you in front of recruiters, as well as people like Nasheen and Ian from companies and municipal and provincial governments. So right now, obviously, we're hosting a webinar, but we have done over 600 live webinars since the creation of our digital platform in 2016. So we really are a recognized digital platform, and we have different types of webinar. You know, we have Meet the Employer, we have ones on workplace culture in Canada, we do sector information, and they're all just really to help people understand what kind of opportunities there are, and they're all really targeted at you and your needs as job seekers and your needs as hopeful Canadians. So here's some of the trainings we offer. A lot of these have already started. If you're interested in them, there's an email on the page, song.g@g-tac.ca, for registration information on maybe the next course. This is our accounting course. It's really good for transitioning your career to Canada if you're already in the finance industry and you want to move that into Canada, or if you're in Canada, you're working in another field and you're not happy and you want to make a transition to the financial sector, this will teach you, Canadian taxation, Canadian auditing, how we do Canadian nonprofit organization accounting. So it really kind of helps you transition your skills to be more eligible in Canada and help you land that first job in the field. And then another one we do, which actually hasn't started yet, so this one's coming this month, is the cybersecurity fundamentals. So this is an upskill and reskill for IT employees. And all of these, by the way, are certificate programs. Okay, I'm not going to get into these too much because I really want to let Nosheen and Ian get into the core of their presentation. But all of the information on this training and this one over here, the personal support worker training, all of the information for that can be found on our website. And if you have any difficulties finding it on our website, screenshot the email here, song.g@g-tac.ca. Or put in a request on our website or email info@g-tac.ca. So for any more questions on these trainings, for the future dates, if you want to know if they're eligible for you, if you fit the skill criteria that we're looking for, feel free to reach out. And then we already have the date for our upcoming 12th National Virtual Career Expo. It's going to be September 27th and 28th. You can register now. It is open for registration, and you can get an up-to-date resume in there as well. Okay, so all this again can be found on our website. I'll go over it again at the end of the presentation. Thank you for joining us. Let us get the, I'm going to now pass the floor, hand the mic over to Nosheen. We're really eager for the presentation. Everyone here is always asking about New Brunswick. So I'll let you talk about the opportunities available in New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. It's always a pleasure to be on this platform. I know I have been associated with GTAC for about 2 years now, and I always enjoy the virtual fairs that you do. They're very rewarding. We come across a lot of very meaningful connections through these events. So I'm happy to be here. Before I say anything else, I'll start sharing my screen so that you know what I'm going to talk about. And I hope that's visible.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Yeah, so just a little bit of introduction about myself and the company that I work for. My name is Nosheen. I am the manager of workforce development and attraction at Ignite Fredericton. Ignite Fredericton is an economic development agency for the Fredericton region. And when I say Fredericton region, it actually covers the city of Fredericton itself, which is the capital city of New Brunswick, and some surrounding towns and catchment areas like Oromocto, the village of New Maryland, the village of Hanwell, the town of Minto, Chipman, and many other areas that surround the Fredericton city. So it's sort of a larger region that we cover with our services. And when I say economic development, it entails quite a few functions which are very important for the growth of the province. One of them is workforce development, of course. Through workforce development, we help people who are job seekers or people who immigrate to our town, or students who are passing out of our post-secondary institutions, or international students who have come to study here and who want to stay here. We help all these people to connect with companies that are looking for skills and resources to fill up their jobs, or are looking for people to get upskilled and take up jobs in the future. So it's like, making the right connections at the right places at the right times. So that is the focus of our workforce development portfolio. Apart from workforce development, we also focus on population growth. So we have a whole immigration division, which takes care of people once they arrive in Fredericton. Our team helps you connect with settlement agencies, with our workforce team, with entrepreneurial team, depending on what your needs are. So it is usually the first stop, and usually a one-stop shop for anybody who is immigrating into our city. Other functions under economic development would also include entrepreneurial support. So if you're coming in with a business idea or a startup and you want to explore the business segment, our partner brand PlanetHatch can help with that. We also deal with investment attraction and infrastructural development. So that's to tell you a bit about what Ignite does in a nutshell. Full disclosure, I am not here to talk about any jobs that Ignite would have. I am here to promote the overall economy and the overall job market of Fredericton region. And as I progress through this presentation, you would come to realize that we have immense opportunity here. We are a very fast growing, highly skilled demographic where, normally after coming in, all our newcomers do have a job within 3 months of their arrival. So which is a really good stats. So moving on, I would take this opportunity to tell you a bit about Fredericton, and I'm sure you guys do your research. You know what New Brunswick is. You know what communities are here. But just to tell you a bit about how Fredericton differentiates from other regions in Atlantic Canada. I think the accolades that we have received in the recent past speak for themselves. We have been ranked number 2 in Canada just last year, among the top 25 communities to live and work remotely in. And why is that? During the COVID years, that everything shut down, we had to resort to working from home. And what did our population need? Our population needed good resources to be able to work from home and good connectivity. And both these things, you don't really have to work hard for these. What's better than being able to work from your own backyard? And because of the lower housing cost, people can actually afford housing for themselves, which is very supportive towards being able to work from home. We also have great connectivity in the city with the recent developments in the connectivity sector. Rogers and other big telco companies have done some huge investments in our 5G networks. So we have some great connectivity in the city as well. And that is one of the reasons why we have been awarded Smart 21 status the second year in a row. In fact, right now we are also fighting to be one of the top 7 smart communities in Canada. And we have also received awards for being the best digital infrastructure at the lowest cost in Canada. And before I say anything about our innovation agenda, there is this short video that I would want to show you. I hope it works. I made sure it works at my end. So let's see if this works or not.
In Fredericton, we value our heritage, our history, our legacy. Our city was built by small businesses who became big businesses.
By dreamers who became industry leaders. By young minds and tech minds. By researchers, manufacturers, and startups. We're a smart city, a digitally advanced city with a bustling economy, world-class healthcare, and diverse industry. Innovation is what makes us, us.
We thrive in our city, not only because it's rich in beauty, but because of its opportunity and its dynamic.
We're a community of doers, creators, and innovators, and we get results.
In Fredericton, we appreciate the little things as well as the big picture. We value our past, but we're focused on the future.
Okay, so that was just a little snapshot into what our innovation district looks like. And Fredericton has been known to be a leader in the innovation space in New Brunswick and in Atlantic Canada for a number of years now. And there's a reason for that. If you look at the entire ecosystem of Fredericton, we have the post-secondary sector here. So the University of New Brunswick, the St. Thomas University, the New Brunswick Community College, and other smaller colleges. Like there are 4 universities and 7 colleges in this seemingly small town only. So you can see, you can imagine the impact that the availability of higher education has on the expertise of our population. Similarly, to make sure that these people, when they're graduated, they have access to the industry and they have access to world-class facilities to be able to enhance their skills. There are research companies in the region that give them the opportunity to test and grow what they've learned. And that is the reason why Fredericton has an extremely thriving knowledge sector. We have the largest engineering services cluster in New Brunswick. So when I say New Brunswick, I'm comparing Fredericton with other urban centers in New Brunswick. In Fredericton only, there are 40 companies that are dedicated towards engineering services, and that would include electronic engineering, mechatronics, civil engineering, and multiple other sectors of engineering. Software engineering is also a big part of that. We also have the largest research and development cluster in New Brunswick, and that comes to about 13 big establishments that are dedicated towards research and development in multiple fields only. We also have the largest IT cluster in New Brunswick. The number of IT employers currently in our ecosystem is 76. And these include small, medium, and large organizations. So you can imagine the number of IT sector jobs that we would have here. And there have been over $70 million invested in startups and R&D, research and development with commercialization potential. So you can imagine how much importance or how much investment the province and the municipal government does in developing our knowledge sector. And this, of course, gives rise to the fact that we have a thriving labor market. The people who come into Fredericton or who live in Fredericton or who graduate in Fredericton are usually in the careers of their choices. They find meaningful work within a short period of time and they grow in those jobs. You would be surprised to know that there has been an 11% increase in employment in the last 5 years, which is a great number. It is in fact even better than the employment rates before the pandemic hit. There was 6.2% unemployment in 2021, which is the lowest in Atlantic Canadian urban centers. And when I say Atlantic Canadian urban centers, it's not just New Brunswick urban centers, it's other urban centers in provinces like Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. There also has been a whopping 155% increase in job vacancies in 2021 as compared to the last 5 years, which is the highest in Atlantic Canada. And we also boast the highest per capita declared income among urban centers in New Brunswick. So you can see our labor market is thriving in the sense that, it is making the most money in this part of the world. There is very less unemployment. The number of job vacancies that we have in the region is only climbing every day. Our most prevalent sectors at the moment would be cybersecurity, IT, and different fields related to IT. There is a lot of investment happening in agricultural technology and biotechnology. The city focuses on forestry and green economy, and healthcare is a sector that is receiving a lot of attention at the moment. And, the two companies that we have with us today I'm sorry about Lumen Ultra. They could not make it today due to some emergency, but I will talk about their jobs in a bit. We do have Ian from Defenda. Defenda is a cybersecurity company in Fredericton, and Ian would tell you their own story about their growth. So these are just a couple examples of very fast growing companies in the Fredericton region and how these companies have analyzed or realized the potential that exists in this market, and they've decided to invest in it. Okay, so before I hand the floor over to Ian, I would just tell you briefly about how our services can help you. So whenever you come into New Brunswick, or even if you're living in Canada and you're looking for employment options, your first natural stop would be Ignite Fredericton. We organize quarterly job fairs. We used to do them virtually, but now we have shifted back to in-person job fairs. We also do company spotlights regularly, where you get a chance to meet with employers face-to-face and understand their organizations and the jobs that they have to offer. We also have a partnership with Working NB, which is a provincial employment division. They have employment counseling services, which have proved to be very, very helpful for people who want to work and integrate into the job market here. We also partner with the Multicultural Association of Fredericton, which becomes instrumental when people from outside Canada need some support in terms of employment coaching. And this would help them with things like, how to prepare for interviews or how to write your CVs according to the Canadian standards and things like that. And there are a lot of other events and opportunities where we work together with the Department of Post-Secondary Education, Training and Labor to help you come across employment connections. And we also do some direct matchmaking with companies. We also release regular available jobs updates through the Ignite website. So if you want to sign up to receive the job updates, you will have to sign up to our mailing list, and I will show you that email address in just a bit. Apart from employment services, as I told you earlier, we do have an expert on our team who is very well versed with immigration programs and immigration related support. Though I must mention here that we cannot help you with your immigration process. We can certainly help you once you arrive into Fredericton as a new immigrant and you need support with your settlement. While our partner, Multicultural Association of Fredericton, is our biggest settlement partner in terms of social settlement, we at Ignite would be able to take care of your economic settlement. And by economic settlement, I mean, we can provide you with employment support. We can provide you with entrepreneurial support. We can provide you with community and social connections. We can help you identify language competency programs if you need them. There is business advocacy available for people who are coming in with the plans of developing a business. And we also have a full newcomer guide on our website, immigrationfredericton.ca, which contains almost every information that you would need to find your way around town. So now what you can do is you can sign up for our mailing list to receive regular job updates and event notifications. And you can do that by sending an email to the email address that's flashing on the screen. It's workforce@ignitefredericton.com. Once you send an email to this, we would consider it your consent to be added to our mailing list, and you would start receiving updates from us. The second thing that you should do is to check out our website, immigrationfredericton.ca, and download Fredericton Newcomers Guide. It is in a PDF downloadable format, and this guide contains quite a lot of active hyperlinks that you can click on and explore further. It also gives you keywords that you can use to search your way around different things that you would need to know. And with that, I think I'm at the end of my presentation. I'm sure we're going to take questions at the end, but if we are not able to get to your questions due to time, there is my email address on the screen. You can always reach out to us whenever you want. And with that, Caitlin, back to you.
Thank you. I guess we'll pass the floor to Ian. Ian, will you also be sharing your screen?
Yeah, I will be.
Perfect. So let's just make sure everything's going well.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Great. Hey, thanks everybody for joining, and thanks for the opportunity here, Caitlin, as well. I'll give a quick overview of Defenda. So like Nosheen said, Defenda is a cybersecurity company. We like to think of ourselves as an extension of our customers. So we typically work for mid-sized companies within Canada and the US primarily. And what we like to think of is we're just an extension of their team. So we're monitoring their devices, their servers, their IT equipment, and then slowly moving into more operational equipment as well. We're monitoring that 24/7 for them and alerting them if we see any suspicious behavior and that kind of stuff. We initially started as more kind of advisory security expert. So think of this as kind of more consulting, doing assessments of companies, that kind of stuff. And then over the last 5 years or so, we've shifted into what we like to call managed security services. So a little bit more of an intimate relationship with our customers there as well, where we really understand their IT and OT environments. Just in terms of a quick overview, like I said, how we like to position it is we'll prepare customers, for understanding their environments, right? So we still maintain those advisory services, those consulting engagements. We like to make sure customers are prepared. After that step, we will do the managing for them. So we're looking at their consoles, we're looking at their IT environments to see if there's any suspicious behavior going on, and we're alerting them when that happens. And then we also like to validate the work that we're doing at that managed phase. So we're always doing things like penetration testing and more offensive security engagement. So we're basically testing our own services to make sure that the bad guys can't come in. And if we are able to penetrate our services, we're plugging those holes immediately so that the bad guys can't come in as well. We've been around for about 10 years, a little bit over 10 years. And like I said, it kind of started a little bit more earnestly on the advisory side, doing those engagements. And then as time progressed, we tried to scale and it's shifted more over to kind of managed security. So we have offices in Oakville, Ontario. In 2020, we opened up an office in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And then the same year, or in 2021, we also expanded to the US in Arizona. So New Brunswick is a key area for us because of a few different reasons, but it's access to talent primarily. So we have partnered with University of New Brunswick to pull in co-op students and that kind of stuff. We use New Brunswick. We've successfully been able to bring people over internationally. So I think we've brought 2 people over from India. We're in the process of doing 2 more from India, and then another gentleman from Nigeria through some of the immigration programs through New Brunswick. So we'd like to think of that as a hub, not only for talent within New Brunswick, but also internationally as well. Because of the pandemic, we instead of looking at geographically specific regions, we expanded our search to more broad regions of the globe to find talent, because there is a shortage of talent in cybersecurity as well. So that's kind of our journey to where we are today. Specifically within New Brunswick as well, there's a big focus within the cybersecurity space of not only protecting IT equipment, so your laptops, your workstations, servers, that kind of stuff, but also companies and municipalities and government, because of a lot of the attacks over the last few years on pipelines, as an example, are shifting their focus to how do we protect our operating equipment, right? So our production plants, manufacturing plants, all that kind of stuff, because as those pieces of equipment get more connected from an IT perspective, right through PLCs, through kind of Internet of Things, all of that stuff. As things get more connected, there's a need to protect everything more, because it's more access points for hackers, for bad guys to come in and infiltrate. And obviously, there's a difference if your computer gets hacked, your computer gets shut down. That's one thing, versus a pipeline versus an operating plant. There could be catastrophic events. So within New Brunswick specifically, I know there's a big focus on securing OT environments and doing a lot of research in that field, and that's one of the areas of focus for Defenda as well. So we're thinking of building out our New Brunswick office as a bit of an OT hub, so that we can really focus on that research and development work, so we can provide those services to customers, municipalities, beginning later this year. Just very high level, we are Microsoft focused. So within the security industry, there are many different technologies, many different companies who offer security solutions. Over the last year and a bit, we've shifted our focus towards Microsoft. It's readily accessible for, all companies leverage Microsoft, and over the last 2 years, they've come out with their security products. So we are Microsoft focused primarily. And that's allowed us to kind of just get ahead of the game a little bit and really just kind of focus our expertise on that area instead of 20 different products and solutions. I think that covers our services enough. In terms of kind of, perks with respect to Defenda, we are a smaller company. We're about 50 to 60 people, right? So we're not some of the big security companies out there. But what we like to do is offer rewarding work, challenging work for people, opportunity to grow, which I'll touch on in a second as well. But I think that's what people are looking for, especially as offices have shut down and that kind of stuff. With people working at home, I think one of the big components is if people do want to find challenging work, work that is going to push them and help them grow. So we're a growing company, and we're looking for people to grow with us as well. So in terms of some of the stuff that we do offer, we are a remote primarily first company, but like I said, we do have offices in different areas that are available to people to work in. Pay time off and wellness days so that people can shut down and recharge as well. We're big on collaboration at Defenda. So we like to recognize our employees at our quarterly town halls, who's gone above and beyond, either internally or externally at the organization. And with things shifting to virtually, we used to be very big on company barbecues and that kind of stuff. But obviously with that shifting, we've had to adapt a little bit here as well. So we do try and run virtual team events and challenges throughout the year. We just finished one where everybody got into teams of 3 or 4 and set walking challenges. So, who did the most steps, who could, and teams would post pictures in our Teams channel and all that kind of stuff. And we're about to start a summer challenge as well. We do have a comprehensive benefits program, including employee assistance programs. So obviously mental health is a big priority for us. And with people working more remotely, you don't see the same kind of verbal or visual cues that you would if you're working in an office. So we do want to make sure we have resources available for our employees. And then in terms of training, Microsoft certifications, like I said, we are focused on that area. I'll speak to this very high level, but in terms of bringing in cybersecurity IT talent, what we want to do is be able to kind of recruit at that base level, which is our level 1 folks who are monitoring our customer environments. And what we want to do, be able to provide those folks with is an opportunity to grow. So, some of our core values that I've touched on briefly is we're looking for people who are collaborative, who want to learn, who are passionate about IT and cybersecurity. Humility, being humble, right? So this is a dynamic space. Things are evolving all the time. We're not going to be perfect all the time, but it's making sure the quality is always there for our customers. But being humble enough to know that we're going to evolve over time as well. And so what we look to do is those level 1 folks, they're monitoring customer environments, they're threat hunting, they're learning about Microsoft Sentinel, that kind of stuff. And then from there, after they've spent time doing that kind of work, we like to think, sorry, I don't know if I can move this. But they're either moving up to like a level 2 type of role, or we like to promote to other areas of our organization. So what we do with those level 1s is we like to build, because it is kind of more shift-based work, we like to build in project weeks every few months as well, so that they have an opportunity to work with some of the different teams, get exposure to some of the different areas of the organization. So, like I said, we are a little bit smaller, but these are areas where we can help people grow as well into, you're not just streamlined into one focused area of cybersecurity. We want to expose you to as much as possible. And we don't want to put ceilings on people. We want people to grow as much as they want to grow as well. And then very quickly, just in terms of career opportunities, these are always updated on our website. So definitely go check out defenda.com/careers. Our LinkedIn page, we do have access to all this stuff as well. But these are kind of some of the samples. I've highlighted in bold SecOps analyst and then regional sales representative as well. Those are 2 of the positions that we're, seemingly always recruiting for, because we do like to bring people in at that level and then, train them up into other areas of the organization to move over as well. That's it for now. I'm happy to take questions. I know there were some questions in the chat about does Defenda bring people in through AIPP? We have done that in the past, and we are continuing to do that as well. So like I said, New Brunswick has been a focus for us because they are a little bit more nimble, more dynamic, more agile. That's how we like to operate as well. And we know there's talent spread across the globe. So if we're able to identify talent and bring them in through those streams into our New Brunswick office, we're obviously happy to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Ian. And thank you, Nosheen, as well for your presentation earlier. So I've been keeping an eye on the questions. I do have a few questions, and if anyone else wants to add theirs in, we have a full 20 minutes now, so we have plenty of time. So feel free to ask any questions you can think of on the chat or in the Q&A section. So I guess, yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you short, but in the meanwhile, since Lumen Ultra was supposed to join us today as well, and Nicole could not make it, so I just thought I would just speak about them very briefly.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
So Lumen Ultra is a pretty fast growing microbial monitoring company in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And they have multiplied from a company of, I think, about 30 people into a company of 200 people in the last 2 years because of their contribution towards testing services for COVID-19. And they have supported the federal government in providing them with COVID-19 testing kits. In 2022, Lumen Ultra was also named as one of Canada's top small and medium employers. So that's just in a nutshell of what Lumen Ultra is all about. They currently have open employment opportunities for positions in bioinformatics, business development, customer services, product manager, quality technicians, and quality managers. So if you think you fit those bills, then feel free to check out Lumen Ultra's website and apply. Thank you.
Great. Even if we want, we could share that maybe in the chat if you know the website off by heart.
I will do that.
Okay. And let me get to some questions here. So this one, I just want to, we get it every single time we have anyone from New Brunswick, and I just want to get it out of the way, and we know the answer. They want to know in English and in French. I guess I'll ask it in English. Can they use this webinar as a declaration of interest for New Brunswick?
I will take that. No, this webinar cannot be used as a declaration to, or as any other connection to New Brunswick. This is just for information.
Okay, thank you. So we have a lot of people sharing their NOC codes. They're not codes. Where can viewers find the up-to-date in-demand NOC codes for the province of New Brunswick?
For the province of New Brunswick, you can go to our website, welcomenb.ca, and I will give that in the chat box as well. When you go into that website, there is a full dedicated page to immigration, and that page would give you details about different streams that are available and the requirements under those streams as well. So, that this website would be your first go-to for any information related to immigration streams or skill levels.
Perfect. And then we had a viewer called Hajer, and he had two questions. He wanted to know, what are the requirements for international candidates who want to get offers in Defenda or Lumen Ultra? I guess for Defenda, Ian, you could probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on kind of fit, like where we obviously like to start is careers page, right? And then people can apply based on qualifications that we need for roles and all that kind of stuff. And then what we'll do is, like, as we go through the interview process, if we identify a candidate that is international based, that's looking to come over to Canada, we'll get into discussions about requirements for them to do that. And, those standard requirements about language tests, et cetera, So I don't have that access, that information readily available right now, but I think that information is probably available somewhere. I don't know, Caitlin, if you can guide people in terms of applying for different immigration programs and stuff like that. But there's certain check boxes that need to be done before we can apply for work permits and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I do have a follow-up. The same person asked another question, which you might give the same answer to, but I'm just going to ask it because it was a two-parter. Okay. Can you accept candidates from the express entry pool?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I would just add there that Ignite Fredericton is also a designated partner for the Global Talent Stream, or the Global Skill Strategy program that the Government of Canada runs. So, and this is more for Ian than for the people here, but that is one program that can be used for extremely high-skilled categories that the Government of Canada has defined as the most required skill sets for the country. So it is a very specific program. More details are on IRCC's website. But if you want to explore that, and if you want to know what companies are hiring through the Global Talent Stream, you can always reach out to us.
Perfect. And I have a question here. I'll ask it in French because that's how they wrote it, but I'll translate it because I think we're going to just do this presentation in English. Est-il possible d'avoir une opportunité d'emploi en comptabilité pour les personnes francophones avoir un faible niveau en anglais? So they're asking specifically about the accounting, but Is it possible for job seekers to receive a job offer when they speak only French with a very weak English?
Since New Brunswick is, an officially bilingual province, for every job, especially jobs in the public sector, they always require a person to be bilingual. The central region, and I can speak to my region, but there are regions in the northern parts of New Brunswick that are predominantly French, but the central region is predominantly English. There may be opportunities where only French could do, but I think the choices would be very, very limited.
Yeah. Now this question is for Ian. This one came through on the YouTube. What is the average time to bring someone from outside of Canada?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I've only been around with Defenda since 2020, and then COVID hit 2 months in, and then in terms of processing times, I think they've been all over the place, right? What we've been seeing for the last year, I think, has been in the 6 to 8 month range. Like, it's been on the higher side. Nosheen, yeah, you're nodding. You might be able to provide a little bit more guidance there, but I think that's what we've seen typically on our side.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months is the norm nowadays. It may get better as IRCC puts in more resources into their processing centers, but as of now, it stands somewhere around 8 months for work permits.
Great. And I'm going to ask one more question, but before I ask it, can we get the poll put up on the screen for the viewers today? So whoever's at the GTAC office there, perfect. So everyone who's watching, we do run this poll. It helps us give feedback to Nosheen and Ian, and it's really useful in terms of learning what you guys like to see and what you find useful. Okay. So the question I was going to ask was, and this is for Nosheen, someone here wants to know about career opportunities in the healthcare system in New Brunswick.
Okay, well, healthcare is a little tricky in the sense that you need some credential recognitions if you want to practice healthcare here. However, if you are in the nursing sector, the government of New Brunswick has announced a program for internationally trained nurses recently, where internationally trained nurses are being inducted into our training facilities, and the costs are also being covered by New Brunswick, and it is a fast-track process to bring them up to the credentials that are required to work in New Brunswick. So it's a start. It's something that the government of New Brunswick realizes that it needs to do, and it needs to invest in getting resources from outside of Canada into the healthcare sector, because we do have a shortage of doctors and nurses here. So it has started off with nurses. For doctors as well, there is an internal campaign going on. Of course, there is always the possibility for you to come in and go through the entire credential recognition process, which is very long at the moment, but there's always the possibility to do that.
And then this one is for Ian. Avilio asked, which certifications would be an asset if I want to work with Defenda?
Yeah, depends on the role, but for entry level roles, we will provide vouchers for our level ones to achieve certain Microsoft certifications. But in general, it's Microsoft security certifications are a big plus for us.
And this question, I had it here. I think I must have erased it as if I had answered it already, but I didn't actually ask it. There was someone who was applying on Defenda, and they found it difficult because it asked for their resident status, but they weren't a Canadian resident. So how do they get around that when applying online?
I don't know off the top of my head. I will have to take that away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But so, and sorry to cut you off. as a default, if people do bump into that, you feel free to send your email to HR@Defenda. We like everything to come through the website, a little bit easier to manage. But if you do find that's an issue, HR@Defenda.com is a general mailbox as well.
This was asked in French, but they asked, is it necessary to be bilingual, or do you favor one language over the other in terms of their strength?
So in terms of Defenda, like most of our customers to date have been English. Having said that, we are unearthing some more opportunities in Quebec primarily. And obviously French speaking is a little bit more preferred there. So bilingual is always an asset. Like it's never a detriment for sure. And then our default is English beyond that.
And Nosheen?
I think it's the same for most of the jobs in Fredericton region, at least. Bilingualism is certainly an asset, but English is the most required. On public sector jobs, and by public sector jobs, I mean government jobs in provincial government departments, they normally need people to be bilingual, especially people who are customer facing. But English is definitely more dominant, the more dominant language.
An anonymous attendee is asking, do you have any positions in finance management? Thank you very much for your response.
We don't have Defenda, no.
What? Okay. So we have someone here who's applied for a nomination, and he's wondering, why is there a delay issuing New Brunswick nominations for those who have submitted documents since February?
It's a general problem. Like we said earlier, there is a lag in processing times here. There's a lot of backlog in our systems after the offices opened up again after COVID. So it's just a long wait. I'm sure you would hear back soon if you filed in February. It's about 4 months now, and 8 months is the norm here. So you need to wait and watch.
So I have another question here saying, what are the career opportunities available for data scientists that wish to work in New Brunswick? And are they high on your skills priority target?
In my experience and from the last open jobs update that we did, we always come across positions for data scientists in multiple organizations. It is a skill set that is high in demand. In fact, there are programs at the University of New Brunswick which are targeting towards this particular skill set. So this is a skill set which is high in demand at the moment. And while, I cannot say that I have this many jobs available for data scientists, but they always keep coming up.
So we're getting really a lot of questions about individual skill sets and individual backgrounds. I would say that's probably about 60% of the questions we're getting now. So we can't answer everyone's, but maybe if you could give what you would see as the most in demand, even though you touched on that briefly, and then where can people find it? So you shared a link, the Welcome NB. Would you like me to share that again? And
sure.
We can just help people find where they can find exactly the answers to.
Yeah, and welcomenb.ca is going to be your best resource to find the most up-to-date information, because even with the province of New Brunswick, they keep updating this website according to their latest labor market trends. We get updated trends reported to us on a monthly basis, and this website is updated regularly, and it would give you, the most recent update about the latest skill set that is most in demand in the province.
I have a few questions here for Ian. This one is from a job seeker who will be in Fredericton in September. In the meantime, what tech skills should they work on in order to be a good candidate for Defenda?
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on the role a little bit. But going back to my earlier point, there's a lot of Microsoft certifications that people can take within the security space. So that's typically where we tend to point people.
Okay. And Ian, the next question as a follow-up is, what is your hiring process like? For example, how many rounds of interviews do you do?
Yeah, and again, depends on the role. For more senior, it might be 3 to 4, depending on who we want to speak with candidates. But for our level 1 roles, it's typically a 2-step process. We'll do a phone screen with HR, and then we'll do a more technical interview with our technical manager.
And just for clarification, are you based? Is your head office in New Brunswick, or is that just? It is?
No, sorry. No, our head office is in Ontario, and then we've got, I think we're at about 6 people in New Brunswick right now, and like I said, I think we've got two more who are coming in through international. So we'd like to double that team over the next year.
Okay. And personally, so you said New Brunswick is great to work with, and we know that because we've worked with different different companies there, and we work with different provincial organizations. So why New Brunswick? And for anyone looking to come to Canada, why would you suggest New Brunswick as a great?
Yeah, so I mean, from a company perspective, kind of what you've talked about is things are able to move quickly. People are quick to respond. Very, very friendly as well. So there's a different vibe in New Brunswick. I know throughout the pandemic as well, a lot of people from Ontario, from some of the more central provinces, have started to move out east, including to New Brunswick. And there's a number of factors out there for sure, but personally, I like moving out I like going for road trips out through New Brunswick and the East Coast and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of a different mentality than I think Ontario for sure. But in terms of people and growth and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of investment that has gone into New Brunswick as well to grow people and stuff like that as well. I know MasterCard invested over $1 million into UNB over the last month or so to focus on IoT security research and stuff like that. So it is becoming a big, I won't speak for other areas, but in terms of technology, I know it's becoming a big hub there as well.
Yeah. Honestly, we're running out of time, but I think we had a great Q&A session there. I am surprised New Brunswick is only getting the recognition it deserves in the last maybe 5-10 years, because I mean, they're by the coast. Who doesn't want to live by the water like that? It's just the nature there is absolutely stunning.
Absolutely.
Big city, big nature, you get the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Okay, well, we have about 2 minutes left. I want to take just a minute to thank you guys for being here. And I want to remind everyone where they can find all of us. So Nosheen, would you like to go first, and then Ian, and then I'll close off?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to speak at this platform. If there are any questions, or if you want to reach out to us, feel free to visit our websites. If you want my email address, I can share that in the chat box again. Feel free to reach out anytime, and we would be happy to support you. And as I said, Ignite Fredericton is the most logical first stop for you when you come to New Brunswick, or when you come to the Fredericton region to settle down here. So make sure you get in touch with us when you arrive, as we would be able to help you with a lot of things that would serve your settlement purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then on my side, like I said, I think the best place to go if you're interested for opportunities is to check out our job postings on the website. And then if there's qualifications that are a fit, for sure, please by all means apply, and we're happy to look at any candidates who fit the bill.
Thank you, Ian. And for everyone watching, we just want to thank you again so much for being here. We have another great webinar next week and the week after. Feel free to check on our website at www.g-tac.ca to look at the calendar of who is coming. and register online as well. We also update our LinkedIn almost daily with different opportunities for job seekers. And we have a link here. So Global Talent Alliance Canada is what you would want to search in the search bar to find us. And if you had any other questions about the trainings, or if you wanted to get in touch with Ian and Nasheen and you missed their email address, ours is on the screen now. So I just want to, again, thank you so much for making this such a welcoming and educational environment. And we will see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.